Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Profile Plus. This is Padma. In this video today, I am going to explain you all a different ways to just ask someone, how are you? See, we generally get bored with this usual question to start a conversation, isn't it? See, whenever you meet a person, the very first question you ask is, how are you? But when you repeatedly use the same phrase and same question, we get completely bored. And in that note today, I'm going to just tell you all some interesting ways to ask someone, how are you? Let's begin. Yes friends, let's check the different ways to ask someone, how are you here? The very first one, what I have written today is, how is it going? See, when you ask somebody, like instead of using the term, how are you, you can also ask, how's it going? It just gives the same meaning like you ask the person, how is he doing now? Or how is everything? The next statement here is, how is everything? So you just ask him about his professional life and personal life, just includes everything, okay? So how is everything? How are things? These are all like how are things and how is everything is quite informal, but how is it going? You can in fact ask your colleague. Okay, you can ask your colleague or even you can use at your workplace. How is it going? How are things? How is everything? So these are some ways to ask, how are you? The next term here is, are you keeping well? This is also the sweetest way of asking someone, how are you? You meet a person after 2-3 days and you just wanted to ask, how is he? So then you just put forth a question, are you keeping well? Okay, it doesn't mean that it is only related to his health. It's a common phrase, it's a common question. You can ask somebody, like instead of how are you, you can make this question, are you keeping well? So please make use of these phrases and try to change your boring question, how are you, from now. The next one here is, okay, how do you do? Mostly people get confused with this, how do you do? See, his friends always ask a person about his profession, like what do you do? What do you do is all about his profession. People sometimes ask, what are you doing? That's really wrong. You have to ask, make a question, what do you do, in order to know someone's profession or someone what exactly is he committed to now. Maybe he is a student, he is a professional, he is an engineer, or he works at some college or whatever. Okay, so when you have to ask somebody's profession, you should only make a question, what do you do? But this is quite different, how do you do? It's nothing but how are you. How do you do also gives the same meaning like how are you. The next one here is, okay, how have you been? So it's quite a long period of time you didn't meet some person. Okay, in that note you can definitely ask them, how have you been? How have you been? So it just there is a slight difference between asking someone how are you doing or how is it going, how are things and all that. And with this comparison, if you just ask them how have you been, means like that the interval is quite more. Okay, the time period is quite more. So now you just wanted to ask the opposite person, how have you been? Okay, the next 3 or 4 here are very informal friends. Okay, this you can only use between your friends. Maybe teenagers, young adults mostly ask how are you only by using these phrases. Okay, the first one here is the what's up. I think you might have heard this where most of the time between a teenager and young adults these days, they only use the term, hey, what's up? What's up means how are you? Okay, the next one here is, okay, all good in the hood. All good in the hood means in the team, or everything fine. So the question is very simple, is everything fine? So there is some very slang words, you can say, you can call it as a slang word, or a very informal way of asking your between teenagers is all good in the hood. All good in the hood. It's a question tag. Please understand, it's a question. So always it goes in the raising intonation. All good in the hood means you are asking someone how is he doing. Fine. The last but not the least, here we have another one. How's tricks? How is tricks? It doesn't have anything to do with the tricks. Please don't misunderstand this. How is tricks means how are you. So these three sentences at the last are very informal. Okay. What's up, or all good in the hood, or how is tricks, how is everything, or how are things. All these things are quite informal. But when you ask very formal, you can definitely use the terms like how do you do? Are you keeping well? How have you been? And the very first one, how is it going? So these are the different ways to ask a person how are you. Try to change your boring question and make use of all these questions from now. If you like this video, please don't forget to press this like button. That motivates me to do lot more videos like this. Enrich, empower and emerge with English. All the best, friends.